Franco, a Biography by Paul Preston is a comprehensive and insightful exploration of the life and political career of Francisco Franco, the Spanish military leader who ruled Spain as a dictator from 1939 until his death in 1975. Paul Preston, a renowned British historian and expert on Spanish history, provides a detailed account of Franco's rise to power, his rule over Spain, and the enduring legacy he left behind. This biography is particularly notable for its depth of research, its critical perspective, and its ability to explain the complexities of Franco's personality and policies. Early life and military career. Born in 1892 in the small Galician town of Ferrol, Francisco Franco was the son of a naval officer. His early life was shaped by the military culture of Spain, which was highly influential at the time. Franco's military career began when he entered the infantry academy at the age of 14. He quickly rose through the ranks, largely due to his reputation for discipline, determination, and an early interest in military strategy. By the age of 33, he became Spain's youngest general in history, a position that was crucial in his ascent to power. Franco's early career was marked by his service in the Spanish colonial wars, particularly in Morocco. His experiences during the Rif War, 1920 to 1927, were pivotal in shaping his political and military views. Franco became known for his ruthlessness and tactical acumen, as well as his belief in the necessity of military intervention to maintain order and stability. This period also showed Franco's deep ties to Spain's conservative military establishment, which would later become a key source of support during his rise to power. The Spanish Civil War. The turning point in Franco's life came with the outbreak of the Spanish Civil War in 1936. Spain was embroiled in political and social turmoil, with deep divisions between left-wing Republicans and right-wing nationalists. The Spanish Republic, established in 1931, faced mounting internal challenges, including economic instability, rising political extremism, and an increasingly radicalized working class. The military rebellion against the Republican government was led by a group of generals, including Franco, who took advantage of the instability and sought to restore a conservative, authoritarian regime. Franco's role in the Civil War was crucial. Initially, he was tasked with leading the military revolt in Spanish-controlled Morocco. However, as the war progressed, Franco emerged as the leader of the nationalist forces. His military strategy, combined with significant support from Fascist Italy and Nazi Germany, enabled the nationalists to secure victory. The war culminated in 1939 with the defeat of the Republicans and the establishment of Franco's dictatorship. The Franco regime, 1939 to 1975. Franco's rule over Spain was characterized by authoritarianism, nationalism, and conservatism. Once in power, Franco set about consolidating his authority by suppressing political opposition, curbing regional autonomy, and eliminating left-wing movements. He implemented strict censorship, silenced dissent, and established a highly centralized state that was heavily influenced by Catholicism. Franco's regime was also marked by the establishment of a cult of personality, with the leader portrayed as the savior of Spain, who had restored order and defeated communism and anarchism. Economically, Franco's early years in power were marked by autarky, a policy of economic self-sufficiency that sought to protect Spain from foreign influences. This policy was largely ineffective, leading to widespread poverty and economic stagnation. In the 1950s, Franco gradually shifted towards a more market-oriented economic model, opening up the Spanish economy to foreign investment and promoting industrialization. This period of economic growth, known as the Spanish Miracle, helped to modernize Spain, although it did not resolve underlying social tensions. Franco's regime also sought to maintain traditional Spanish values, particularly Catholicism. The Catholic Church was a key ally of Franco's dictatorship, and the regime passed laws that reinforced the Church's influence over education, marriage, and family life. Franco himself styled himself as a defender of Catholicism, using religion as a tool to justify his rule and to maintain control over the Spanish population. One of the most controversial aspects of Franco's rule was his treatment of Spain's regional cultures. The Basques, Catalans, and Galicians had long struggled for autonomy, and under Franco, their languages and cultural practices were suppressed. The Basque Country in particular was the site of violent repression as Franco sought to quash nationalist sentiments. This authoritarian approach to regionalism created deep divisions within Spain that would persist long after Franco's death. International relations. Franco's foreign policy was shaped by his desire to ensure Spain's independence and maintain its isolation from international affairs. Initially, Franco sought to align himself with Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy, hoping to gain their support in the Spanish Civil War. However, after the Axis powers' defeat in World War II, Spain was diplomatically isolated. The United Nations did not recognize Franco's regime, and Spain faced international condemnation for its authoritarian policies. In the 1950s, however, Franco's relations with the United States and other Western powers improved. The Cold War provided Franco with an opportunity to position Spain as a key ally in the fight against communism. In 1953, Spain signed a pact with the United States, allowing American military bases to be established on Spanish soil in exchange for economic aid. This marked the beginning of a more pragmatic foreign policy, as Franco sought to modernize Spain's economy and gain international legitimacy. Franco also navigated complex relations with the European colonial powers, particularly in North Africa, where Spain retained a few colonies. He was able to maintain a degree of Spanish influence in the region, although his inability to fully modernize Spain's military and economic structures ultimately limited his success on the international stage. The legacy of Franco. Franco's death in 1975 marked the end of nearly 4 decades of authoritarian rule. His passing led to the transition to democracy in Spain, which culminated in the establishment of a constitutional monarchy under King Juan Carlos I. While the transition to democracy was largely peaceful, the legacy of Franco's rule continued to shape Spanish society and politics for many years. Franco's regime left deep scars on Spain. The country remained deeply divided over the legacy of the dictatorship, with many families still mourning the loss of loved ones during the Civil War and the repression that followed. The pact of silence that emerged after Franco's death prevented a full reckoning with Spain's past, and it was not until the 2000s that efforts to address the legacy of the Civil War and Franco's dictatorship gained momentum. In 2007, the Spanish government passed the Historical Memory Law, which sought to recognize the victims of Franco's regime and promote historical reconciliation. Paul Preston's biography of Franco sheds light on the complexities of his rule and the broader context of Spanish history. It explores not only Franco's rise to power and his policies, but also his personal psychology and motivations. Preston provides a nuanced and balanced perspective on Franco, acknowledging the strengths and weaknesses of his leadership while critiquing the authoritarian nature of his regime. The biography is an essential resource for anyone seeking to understand the history of Spain in the 20th century and the enduring impact of Franco's dictatorship.